So I think there's like 5,400 people out there that were probably thinking, what the hell is this guy doing? Trying to swing with a guy like Todd Duffy. Was that the plan going in, and it obviously worked out pretty well?
Well, I mean, I've been boxing in the gym with professional boxers, so I've been seeing shots come at me and seeing things, absorbing a lot of things, and I'm learning how to move with the shots and absorb power and how to redirect it. I was trying to be more intelligent, but today my emotion got the better of me leading up to the fight, and I just bit down my mouthpiece and wanted to make a statement that, you know, I kept turning old and crafty, so I guess I was kind of dumb tonight, and I just decided to show young and brash.
So that's kind of what I asked Dave earlier. I mean, this is kind of like the everything old is new again heavyweight division in the UFC with you and Andrei Arlovsky, guys we thought were kind of, you know, maybe past their prime, and you're proving that a lot of us were wrong.
Yeah, I think heavyweights mature later in life. You see even in college wrestling and whatnot, you don't see a lot of freshmen in the heavyweight division becoming NCAA champions like you do in the other weight classes. So I think that you see it a lot of times that we come upon ourselves older. And you know, now with my new training, I mean, Ricky Lindell's completely taken over as a head coach. I had a booklet at the beginning of the camp, all of us did, explaining exactly what we're going to do each day of the camp, 8 weeks out. Why, photos of what Todd was doing in his past fights, percentages. That's why I keep naming him Moneyball. Then with Angelo Reyes as a boxing coach, has really rejuvenated my thirst in really learning boxing and going into the boxing gyms and sparring boxing with boxers, and not trying to use MMA and sit there and go, well, I'm going to do this, which now I think I need to do a little more MMA sparring also, because tonight I kind of reverted just into pure boxing. I threw a couple knees and I actually felt a little awkward throwing them because in practice I've been so boxing, but then it paid off in the end. I saw him really winging the punches, and so I just sat back and loaded my left hand, a Pacquiao type overhand left, and just caught him.
And obviously, like a year ago, you were telling us yesterday you were considering the possibility of kind of walking away from things. How glad are you now that wasn't the case?
No, I'm glad. I really was. After the Overeem fight, I was figuring, you know, why keep putting my family through this? Everybody ever can attest that being a professional athlete and fighter is an extremely selfish position. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but it has to be. If we don't put ourselves first in our training and our loved ones really have to take a second seat, then we're not going to be up here at this table in the winning area. And so, you know, to go through all the hardships I'm going through and to keep coming up short, it's draining mentally and emotionally. But the wife was very smart. She told me to take time off and just get back to general fitness. I did, and then, you know, like I said, I was able to do a yoga class with her, which I wasn't able to do that there for a while. And so, you know, like I said, with the people I have around me, I feel rejuvenated. I have great training partners that show up every day. James Hoare, Todd Price, Zach Singer, college player at the UNLV, 310-pound monster, you know, laying on me all the time. You know, and then going in there, you know, Don House allowed me to work with his boxers and spar with them. That's a huge privilege going there. Roy Jones Jr. is in the corner watching, you know, after a sparring match, ask for bits of advice. So I guess I just keep it to where I'm still very youthful, very much of a kid, and enjoy learning. Everybody can see that even after 14 years in the UFC, I'm constantly trying to improve. I think a lot of guys sit back on their merits and just, I have records of being in the Hall of Fame. What more? I don't know. I'm not satisfied with that.
Frank, you just talked about some of the research that you did looking into Todd's recent fights, but you also knew the guy personally, and you know, that had been a storyline coming into this one. Was there anything that you knew about Todd that played into the strategy of, if I go at him early, maybe he won't be expecting that, and that would be an advantage for me?
Yeah, I always felt that Todd is, you know, if we were all playing cards, he's a +10 in power, +10 speed, and the guy's all offense. I've always questioned his defense on his movement, and I think a lot of guys, they see that overwhelming power, and they step back and give him room. And he's such an explosive athlete. The guy has one heck of a vertical, can deadlift, you know, incredible amounts of weight. So if you sit there and take a right hand from him and you step back, it actually allows him to hit you that much harder. So I try to take a key out of boxing, which is, you know, constantly slip punches and move forward. And even when he did hit me, one thing I've learned now sparring hard with boxing, which, you know, Holly probably attest to, wearing headgear and smashing, having partners, they don't just land one and go, oh, are you okay? They land 2, 3, 4 shots, and boxing is very much that you might land one, but I'm going to steal a shot at the end of the combo and come back, and we're going to fight and move. So it's not really pointish. Sometimes in MMA we kind of get to that thing where I hit you like, hey, are you okay? And I've avoided that kind of sparring where once I spar, I mean, it's from bell to bell, it's to the death. You know, we're trying to hurt each other, and that gives me that training that if I get caught with a shot by Todd tonight, I can roll and move around, and I can keep my eyes on him knowing what more is coming after him. Whereas in the past, I might have taken one shot and sat there and taken the third, fourth, and fifth, and that's when, heck man, heavyweights hit hard.
Obviously, a big win for you, and this is a question that you guys get all the time right after a big win. But do you have any idea of what this means for you? Because obviously, this is a big turnaround. You were on a skid, and now you're on a winning streak. Do you have what's next for you?
Hopefully I don't have to answer any more "am I going to retire" questions. Maybe we can end that for a little while. No, like I said earlier in the Fox interview, I fight for the same reason that I fought first time 14 years ago. And I'm a martial artist, and I want to prove myself, and I have to have something more than just lip service and go in the gym and you train a little bit. And there's guys that are like that. I'm not satisfied with that. So I put myself against some of the hardest elements. Fighting here against other professional fighters is scary. It's nerve-wracking, but it tests who I am. It puts me to the brink of my emotion and the brink of my mind. So when I crash, and even if I fail or I succeed, there's that next day in the gym, I can look at it and go, well, what can I do to make myself better as a person inside and outside the octagon? And this is the turmoil that I put myself. This is my furnace. This is my stone. So really, I think the same thought I had 14 years ago when I walked in the UFC was, let me see what I'm made out of, and then let me improve upon it when I'm done.